welcome in this new video, which is gonna be very nutrition focused. I haven't really chatted a lot about nutrition on my channel yet, but I truly believe that it is a big part of feeling good mentally, physically, of cortisol balancing, of managing stress levels, and on tailoring it so it can work with you. I used to have a very restrictive way of seeing food, and now I'm really seeing it as something that nourishes me from the inside out so I can be the best version of myself. So I just thought that I could take you guys with me during the week here in Sydney so I can show you what I'm typically eating. I am not gonna do what I eat in a day because I don't think it is helpful for anyone to see that, because it pushes everyone into comparison, and we really shouldn't compare what someone is eating, not eating, whatever. What a certain person is doing might be super detrimental for you, and the opposite is true. So it's just giving a little bit of inspo and a little bit of maybe variety for you, and focusing on joy and pleasure in food, and on cooking quality and nutrient dense meals that are gonna make you feel satisfied as well. I truly believe that the most important thing with food is that you enjoy what you're eating, because if you don't enjoy it, it's gonna have a negative impact on your mental health, and in the end everything is linked. So if your mental health is not following, then your body's not gonna follow, your relationships, everything. It is actually dinner time nearly, so I'm gonna start with dinner. So usually I always structure my meals the same way, even my snacks. So there would always be a source of healthy carbs with protein and some fiber in there as well, and then some kind of healthy fats. And I would try to incorporate as many local and seasonal products as possible. So now here in Sydney, we are getting into fall. I am very, very privileged being in Sydney. I truly think that the quality of food here is highly nutritious, and it is a very health-focused city to live in. And I'm very glad to be here. I think that's also what is attracting me here. But whole foods, sticking to that kind of way of eating is really gonna get you a far, far way. And it's basically super intuitive, right? Because that's how we've always functioned as humans, and so it is an obvious way to get all of our nutrients. I added a little bit of sesame oil, some soy sauce, some spinach, garlic, fresh ginger, coriander, and then I'm gonna end up with all the roasted veggies that I'll add at the end. And topping up with coriander and a little bit of tahini, and with those fermented veggies that I'm putting on everything. Some pink Himalayan salt, some black pepper. I also put some turmeric in there, which is so good for inflammation. I usually don't really cook with sesame oil, but it's just that my host has been using it for her ground meat and stuff, and it smells so good. I just wanted to do something a bit Asian inspired, but usually I would cook with either ghee or drizzle olive oil. I would use real butter, sometimes some coconut oil if I'm putting it on a higher heat. Gonna make this simmer a little bit. So this is what it looks like when it's done. So actually I added a little bit of chicken bone broth, very good for digestion, and I'm always trying to incorporate lots of nutrient dense but also easy to digest foods. And I basically top my bowl with some tahini, some more coriander, and then the pickled veggies on the side, also amazing for digestion. And I'm really trying to incorporate all the veggies of the season. That's what I'm gonna enjoy right now, and cozy up and go to bed early, because yeah, it's been a big day. I'm gonna make my matcha with you guys. What I usually do for my matcha depends on what I'm feeling like, but it would be 3/4 a cup of hot water. And then I bought this ceremonial matcha in Belgium in a Japanese shop, which is good quality. It's not the same one as in Japan, but it's pretty good. So I would do like 1/2 teaspoon. And then I brought my little foamer with me, so just like mixing it. Then I would usually always add 1 teaspoon of raw honey. So I got this one. It's Tasmanian Australian honey. And then I like finishing with a little bit of cinnamon on top. Woo! Guys, this morning I was a little bit in a rush, so I didn't film my breakfast. So I basically made an ice cream bowl. So it's frozen bananas, some cacao, some protein powder, then topped with granola, almond butter, all the fresh fruits and stuff. But yeah, I didn't film that one because I was in a rush. So I am just gonna show you my typical breakfast that I would have nearly all year round. I would make overnight oats, but when it gets a bit colder, and it's gonna get colder in the upcoming months, I usually love making warm oats because I find it very soothing on digestion, and also you can add in protein powders and filling nuts and seeds and stuff, so it keeps me satiated and it also gives that boost of energy with the oats. So I'm gonna show you guys how I prepared my overnight oats, and then I'll show you the end results tomorrow morning when I get them out of the fridge. So usually I like adding 1/2 banana to my oats, but I run out of it. So it's gonna be no banana. And obviously starting off with some organic rolled oats. So as you know guys, I don't measure or track anything. I used to do it, and it put me in a very toxic mindset towards food, that I was just seeing it as a number instead of as nourishment. And I think it can be beneficial. I can make a whole video about that, but for some people I think it is detrimental and it can lead to under eating. So this is my base of oats. Then this is a mix of chia and hemp seeds. I would just put a little bit of that in there. It's full of fiber and omega-3s and all the healthy fats. And then I got this organic raw cacao powder. I love chocolatey oats, but without having like, I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of chocolate. I like the flavor of it, but not when it's too sweet. Like for me, super dark chocolate dessert, it's a bit too much for me, but I like having it in my oats. Then I would always add some salt, Himalayan salt. I like adding a little bit of cinnamon. I love cinnamon. And it's also very good for blood sugar balance. We cannot see that, but that's my protein, vegan protein powder. Being in Australia, it gives lots of healthy alternatives, but I would always encourage you guys, if you choose a protein powder, look at the ingredients and try having the most minimal amount of ingredients in there. And I also love putting some natural organic yogurt in my overnight oats. It gives some more protein and some more filling for my whole morning, basically. And I would pour in some water, mixing it all up so you get that very smooth texture. I let it rest overnight, and then in the morning it's time for all toppings. Good morning guys. So I slept incredible. I slept 10 hours straight. I think I needed to rest. So as I mentioned, I'm gonna top my overnight oats, and I've got some peaches, raspberries, and gonna show you guys what it's gonna look like at the end. What I put in there
put some fresh peaches. It's end of season, but still very yummy. Some raspberries, Brazil nuts, and topped it up with cacao nibs, some salt, as I told you. And then the raw honey that I also put in my matcha. Can I enjoy it? I don't know if I can go outside. It's a bit cold right now, but yeah, I want to take some sunlight, so we're gonna try. So guys, making some kind of lunch. I had some time today, so I am meal prepping for today's lunch, tomorrow's lunch / dinner. So for lunch it depends. It will usually be the meal that I'm eating out most. So when I'm eating out, to be honest, I focus on protein, healthy fats, and some kind of carbs. So a go-to would be some kind of toast, sourdough with eggs and like an egg scramble and avocado, or some smoked salmon on the side. Or I would have like a sweet potato salad with some kind of protein, tofu, whatever. I try to switch it up. Want to try some new recipes with silken tofu. I had a block here in the fridge. And so to add some more fiber and also some more protein, I mixed it up with some red lentils, let it soak a little bit. I put some peanut butter in there, some soy sauce, some bone broth as well to up the protein and the digestibility. So I'm just gonna like cook this for a while. I'm also baking some veggies in the oven. Yeah, I hope that it's gonna be good. It is kind of a trial, but I'll let you guys know. By the way, I'll put all the recipes that I'm putting in this video down in the description so that you guys can have some inspo and try them at home. My bowl looks like. So I put in there some rice, some coconut milk, and tofu mixture, some broccolini, sweet potato. Then there's a rice mixed tofu situation. That's some tahini, and those are pickled veggies, and added some Himalayan salt and some pepper. And yeah, that's gonna be my new go-to, I guess.